Step into a new day. We can rise up from the dust and walk away.
Immediately followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by Justice Bradford. And I would ask if you would at that time to please continue to stand, and we will observe a moment of silence for Gary Linn.
Lord, we thank you again for this evening that we can gather. Father, we thank you for our county. Father, we ask you to just give us wisdom tonight in all the decisions that are made. Father, we thank you for the good things that are happening in our county. Father, we thank you for all you do. And Father, we just ask your blessing on every aspect of this meeting and every aspect of every person here. And Father, we just thank you for the ones that are on the front lines who are facing this pandemic. And Father, we just pray you just give them strength and wisdom and all they do too. And Father, we just continue to lead our county in the right direction. We thank you, Lord, for all. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Gary Gene Linn, 70 of B Branch, Arkansas, passed away Sunday, April 12, 2020. He was born January 22, 1950 in Bauxite, Arkansas, to the late Grady Conrad and the Thelma Inez Jenkins Linn. Gary had worked for and later retired from the Department of Human Services. He also held many positions such as Justice of the Peace for District 5 in Van Buren County, Board of Directors for Boston Mountain Rural Health Center and Literacy Council for Searcy County. Gary also attended St. Francis Church in Fairfield Bay. He enjoyed traveling, photography, and politics. Left to cherish his memory is his wife Laura Linn, one son Andrew Linn, brother Danny Linn, as well as many friends and other family members. Gary is preceded to death by his parents, Grady and Inez Linn, siblings Jack Linn, Randy Linn, and Judy Linn. A memorial service will be held at a later time. Arrangements are entrusted to the Clinton Funeral Service. To sign Gary's book of memories, please go to www.clintonfuneralservice.com.
Thank you. We have a proclamation that we're going to present on Gary's behalf, and Laura's here with us tonight to accept that proclamation. And I will read what the proclamation says. Proclamation to honor the public service of Gary Gene Linn. Whereas Gary Linn served as Justice of the Peace, District 5 on the Van Buren County Quorum Court from 2013 to 2020, as well as holding different positions for the Department of Human Services, the Literacy Council for Searcy County, and the Board of Directors for Boston Mountain Rural Health Centers. Whereas Gary's mother once said she should have named him Gary Go, because even as a child he was constantly on the go. Gary enjoyed traveling abroad, photography, and talking politics at the local gas station. He was a strong animal advocate and enjoyed attending St. Francis Church in Fairfield Bay. His wife, Laura, said Gary never met a stranger. He had a way with words and could talk to anyone, from a homeless person in need of counsel to talking with a former president of the United States. Now therefore I, Dale James, by virtue of the authority vested in me as Van Buren County Judge, do hereby recognize Gary Gene Linn for his years of service, his tireless work, and the contributions he made to Van Buren County. We will remember Gary as a caring, helpful, and optimistic man, and it has been a pleasure to know him and an honor to work with him. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand this 16th day of April in the year of our Lord 2020. Be seated, please. At this time, I would entertain a motion to suspend the rules, to amend the agenda, and to entertain a resolution that was dropped on the table at the last minute. Oh, that's right. Roll call.
Holt.
Here.
Nikki. Here. Sarah.
Here.
Phillips.
Here.
Bradford.
Here.
Tatum.
Here.
Lemmings.
Here.
Bass.
Here.
Linn.
Okay. Do I hear that motion?
So be it.
Second.
It's been motioned by Holt, second by Phillips, to suspend the rules to entertain a last-minute resolution at this part of the agenda. Roll call vote for suspension.
Resolution.
Resolution.
You got ahead of me. This is the one that you write on this one. Holt.
Yes.
Nikki.
Yes.
Sarah.
Yes.
Phillips.
Yes.
Bradford.
Yes.
Tatum.
Yes.
Lemmings.
Yes.
Bass.
Yes.
You have before you a resolution that is sponsored by all members of the Quorum Court. It would be an honor to have any of you read this resolution. Okay?
Be it resolved by the Quorum Court of the County of Van Buren, State of Arkansas, a resolution to be entitled, a resolution honoring and cherishing the memory of Gary Gene Linn, Justice of the Peace, District 5, and showing appreciation for his work and efforts for the Van Buren County, Arkansas. Whereas Justice of the Peace Gary Gene Linn passed from this life on April 12, 2020, and whereas Gary has served on numerous committees during his tenure in office, and whereas Gary was a faithful member of the Quorum Court, attending meeting regularly until his health kept him away, and whereas Gary was a friend to us all and leaves a legacy of hard work, dedication, and goodwill for Van Buren County, Arkansas. Therefore, be it resolved by the Quorum Court of Van Buren County, Arkansas, that Gary Gene Linn be hereby honored, that his work on the Quorum Court of Van Buren County be acknowledged. Gary was a friend to the county, and he will be deeply missed. I move we pass as written.
Second.
It's been moved by Tatum and second by a host to pass this resolution. And I hope at this point we'll have some good discussion, because I'm sure we all have some Gary stories, and I think it would be a good time to share those.
I told Gary he looked like Santa Claus.
Should have seen him Sunday. He would have liked it.
No, I spent my time on the Quorum Court sitting at that corner right over there where Esther's sitting, and Gary sat right beside me. And I remember remember the animal shelter when that was getting ready to close and everything was all stirred up, and someone had made the comment that we don't need an animal shelter, we take care of our own animals. He leans over to me and he said, well, I can take care of him, and it doesn't matter what district I'm in. So very out of character for him, and completely in joke. But
I was fortunate to sit by him since I've been on the Quorum Court. I thought a lot of him. Thought he was a peaceful soul and someone that would listen, and I had a lot of respect for him.
Gary was a very good man. He had a kind spirit. Sometimes when we get discussions about the animal shelter or other numerous things that we talked about, he would just kind of look at me and he'd shake his head, and sometimes he says, "Are people really this stupid?" I said, yeah. So, unfortunately, Gary, yes they are. Yes they are. And I remember when we went over to Pierce Ferry, we were over there in the air looking at boat docks and stuff. And we were walking around, most all of us at that time, just as pieces were over there, we were looking And we're walking around and Gary's looking, he says, "You know, this would be a good place for a party over here." I said, "Yeah, Gary, it sure would be." But he was a kind soul. I'm really going to miss him. He was a good man.
Judge James, Mr. Linn gave me a call last year on the phone, and around him when I've talked to him here, he's pretty soft-spoken. And he said, "Sheriff, I need some help." I said, "I'll help you with anything that I can help you with." And he said, "No, I'm not asking for a favor." He said, "I need some help." I said, "Okay." He said, "But I got myself a ticket." And he said, and I'll be honest, he said, "I was driving a little too fast." And he said, "But all I want is," he said, "I'll pay the ticket." He said, "But could you please help me just keep it off my insurance?"
I remember a little bit at school, although every time you do something, he never was in a lot of trouble or anything like that, but he always say, "Gary, Gene," I mean, he always say that. I was on here, I recall it. He always worked in the lunchroom serving food. We had this one teacher, John Stovall from Choctaw. He was one of these guys, when he goes through the line, he always had something to do with his tray. You know what I'm talking about, this type of guy? He always put one roll or something like that, and Gary, he'd always put two on there. Stovall, "Gary, Gene." I can see him just plain. "Gary, Gene." Gary would be behind the line smiling. I guess that's the meanest thing he ever done in school, because he was always an academic. He wasn't an athlete or anything like that, but he was a smart guy. He worked hard in his lessons, not like some of us.
I remember when Gary worked for the state, and one of his patients was my sister, and Gary was very, very kind to her, and I always appreciated his kindness. Every time he saw me, he would ask me about her, and I've lost her since then, but Gary was just a kind-hearted individual.
I never was around Gary that much because being on the Quorum Court a short period of time, and he was always on the other side of the room. But one night after our Quorum Court meeting, we went down to tour the rescue squad. We rode the bus down together, and man, we just talked all the way down there and all the way back. Like I'd never even been around him, but we just like we've been friends forever. He would just tell me all this stuff, and we just had the greatest conversation. So he's very easy to communicate with and talk to.
The first thing he ever said to me, he came up and shook my hand and he said, "Well, I was a hippie back in the day." Okay. Thanks for sharing. Then we found out that I'm the coordinator for the hippie program, which is actually an early childhood education program. And that was the way he introduced it. He was a big advocate. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Anything else? Roll call vote.
Holt,
Yes.
Nikki,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
Phillips,
Yes.
Bradford,
Yes.
Tatum,
Yes.
Lemmings,
Yes.
Bass.
Yes.
2020-08.
All right, I guess we have some real business we need to do now. You have before you a copy of the minutes from the last meeting. Do I hear a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve by Lemmings, second by Nikki. All those in favor of approving the minutes signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say by the same sign. You have a copy of the treasurer's report. Do I hear a motion to approve the treasurer's report?
Make a motion.
Second.
Motion by Tatum, second by Phillips. And if I get too fast, just stop me over there, Pam.
Okay.
To approve the treasurer's report. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? You have before you a copy of the appropriations analysis. Do I hear a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Holt, second by Tatum to approve the appropriations analysis. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? County Roads and Equipment Report. I forgot to put this in print today, and this is the first time I've forgotten to do that. We have been working on getting some drainage still installed on our roads. We went down on Grady Lane just in the last couple of days, and that road goes up and down kind of like a roller coaster or a snake. And everywhere there was a dip, water would run across the road every time it would rain. So we got all those culverts put in, we got that fixed up. We're finally to the point we're getting to get some good days of road grading in, get the road smoothed back off. They held up for a long time, and then all at once with all the water and everything we've had and the bad spring, which is the second really wet spring we've had in a row, all at once they just fell out. And we're trying to get out there, get those potholes fixed up. We got our equipment up. Everything's running really well, so we're in good shape to hit the ground running and make a lot of progress. Of course, as far as equipment, we will not be purchasing any more equipment this year. Everything as far as purchases in the road department are going to be suspended, and our projects are going to be evaluated as we go based on where we are as far as money. And we'll get into a little bit more of that here in just a little bit. Sheriff's report, do you have anything for us?
Just a little bit, Judge. Last month I didn't get to hand out the patrol activity log, so I did hand you two today, which brings you up through March. As you can tell, our totals there are going down because with our COVID-19 situation, we requested as little contact as we can possibly get by with. We will probably get more into some of that a little bit later in the meeting, but as far as our jail, trying to take care of our employees in there and our inmates in there and keeping that out of our jail is a very important situation that we have. Right now we are COVID-19 free, and we are going to continue to try to stay that way. If anything any further that you want to know about the precautionary measures we're taking or anything like that, I'll be glad to answer those questions as well. But as far as I know, all of our reports is there with you, and if you have any questions, just let me know.
Thank you. This is the point where the county boards address the court, and I'd like to open this section up by saying that your county elected officials have met together, and time is of the essence with our budget and the things that we know are going to be coming down the road with lack of funding. And myself, Misty, and Pam spent an hour today on the phone with the Association of Arkansas Counties on a conference call. We're going to have these every week. They're giving us excellent guidance as to how deep of an impact we're going to feel as a county from the COVID-19 slowdown and basically shutdown of the economy. As you are aware, state taxes are not collected, sales taxes are not collected on groceries. That's where the half-cent road tax is accumulated from. So I'm having to make adjustments on county roads without a lot of that half-cent road tax going forward. As this curve, as the economy opens back up, it's going to be a slow ride upward. Not everything will open at once. It's going to be incremental. And it's going to take a while to get out of this deep rut that COVID-19 has thrown us into. Unemployed people aren't going to be spending like someone with a viable income, a viable source of revenues personally. And we're just going to have to make preparations to get through this rut. The state has cut the general turnback funding. They've already decided to do this at the legislative level by 15% more. You may recall that we had already received a decrease in general turnback. So what we were accustomed to and what our revenues were projected for this year, we were having to cut the turnback portion by 15% more going forward. Also, the county receives a 1-cent sales tax. The county tax is assessed on groceries, so we are going to have the first month, we're probably not going to see just a whole lot of a dip in our revenues. As everything else was starting to taper off, the panic buying was really kicking in gear. So we should see a steady flow in our sales tax revenues for the first month. And then beyond that, we're looking at a minimum of a 50% decrease. Some estimates as high as 80%. So we met, since time was of the essence. Our budget, to accumulate a budget can take weeks, sometimes months. And we know that the more and the farther we put off our spending cuts, the deeper those cuts are going to have to be later in the year, because we only have so much money in the bank. We're only going to be getting so much money. We have to operate with that. So as the elected officials address the court, I would like for them to tell you exactly where the cuts have been made in each individual office. And we'll start back in the corner with Emma, and we'll work our way across the room.
It's been a tough week, as it has everywhere. I had one full-time employee step up and say that she would take the unemployment and not be laid off. I'm hoping it gets better and that she can come back. So I'll let off full-time.
Lucas?
I guess for lack of better terms, fortunately I hadn't filled a position that was vacant, so I have decided to remain, that position remain vacant throughout the rest of the year, or until we see the turn for better times in this situation. Also, I've cut back somewhere 6 to 8 of my part-time that normally help us on a regular basis. I've cut all those back to very minimal hours. As a matter of fact, just 2 of them are going to get any hours at all, but I couldn't just do away with them completely. Because we do have full-time that get days off, so we had to have a little bit of coverage in the jail. And those part-time positions are from the jail and from the sheriff's office patrol side. So that's the cuts that I made.
Will those people be able to get unemployment, even though they're just...
The ones that I talked to, I had acquired them from being laid off at another job. So they were already eligible for unemployment. So they're going to go ahead and proceed with that.
Debbie?
I have 2 part-time positions, and what I have done is taken both of those part-time positions, and for the 8 months, one of them's going to take 4 months off, be laid off for 4 months, then she'll come back, and the second one will be laid off for the additional 4 months. And then I have taken kind of earmarks on my budget and the lines that I'm not gonna, I need to make sure we don't speak anything out of. We're strictly running on half to office supplies and just utilities.
Thank you, Laura.
I also have one full-time employee that I'm going to have to lay off. I've not done it yet, but they all know that it is coming. And I'm also just trying to not spend what I don't absolutely have to.
Thank you. Misty?
Of course, my office, I don't have employees, so there was nothing to cut there, but I did call the auditors, and what I can take out of my automation fund, I'm going to pay that so it won't be taken out of county general.
Thank you. Pam?
I'm laying off one full-time employee. Also, will not be spending meals and lodging and travel out of my budget. And we put a stop to any spending besides just the main utilities, phone bill, stuff like that. So.
Likewise, in my office, I laid one off out of the office staff, and we had a host of part-time people that we had already drug tested, and they already had their start dates handed to them, and I called them up and told them that we wouldn't be able to hire we were going to run 2 brush crews this year so we could get ahead of all the grass and brush. And total, oh, and also we'll have 1 maintenance man. The part-time maintenance that we hired last month, that position no longer exists. And we had 2 full-time maintenance. We only have 1 full-time maintenance position that will be filled. Total positions between county roads and county general that have been eliminated, part-time and full-time total, is 25. I don't think we have anyone here from district court. There was 1 part-time layoff at district court, and I spoke with Carol, but I never got back with her. Do you have any specifics from the prosecuting attorney's office?
No, I mean, during this time, we may, certainly only from a perspective of supplies, we'll see a little bit of a decrease, I think. But, of course, we only have 2 staff that do 2 completely different jobs. And I know the last couple of years, we've even not had money for paper at the end, last quarter. So. But we think we might see a little dip in some supplies because we're not getting as many cases because everyone's really just staying home the best as they can. And then, of course, the attorneys are not paid by, county money. And the only DTF spot in Van Buren County, we had filled that before all this happened. And the remaining DTF spots are not paid for by any county money, just the statewide grant. One of those is going to be coming open, but that wouldn't impact the budget here at all.
So, we have a total job elimination of 25 positions. Does the court have any questions for any of us?
That's 25 for the whole county?
For the whole county.
Okay.
County roads and county general, full-time and part-time.
Okay.
Judge, I just want to say, with this going on, that I appreciate the elected officials stepping up to the plate. I ain't gonna lie. And I know it's tough. I mean, it's not anything we seen coming, until all this hit. And as we all know, without the counties being open, there's no money, and it's tough. And all I can say is I hope and pray that this is where we stop, but we don't know, and it's all unforeseen at this point, but we appreciate it.
Yeah, I want to let you know also that I appreciate what you've done and not having to bring it before the court, because if it comes before the court, we would have had to cut it and it would have been gone forever. At least at this point, you've stepped up to the plate and you're eliminating people, but your position stays in place. So that's a positive for y'all. But when it comes to the court, we don't have a choice. We would have to cut.
So are there things in writing for this? My question being, some of you guys spoke about laying people off for the remainder of the year. Is there anything that solidifies that they would not be able to change that if things were to get better?
Oh, absolutely. That's what layoff is. We can bring them back at any time.
Okay, so it's not written for like an 8-month?
No.
For the remainder of the year?
And there's talk of a 4th round of a stimulus package in which counties would get some stimulus funding to be able to hire these people back. Should that happen, by having these positions already there, we wouldn't have to come back to the Quorum Court. We just drop the money in. It's already appropriated. So we just pick back up where we left off. And hopefully that will happen.
I mimic everyone and that I appreciate. I can't, it's a hard thing to do, and I appreciate it. Based on the feedback that we're getting from the Association of Arkansas Counties, do we look like what we've done so far is in line, I mean, if we stay where we are, is what we've done going to get us in line to where we need to be, or are we looking at a bunch more soon, or, I mean?
Well, I'll tell you how the call went today. The counties that have done nothing were kind of chastised. Would you say that?
Probably,
Yeah. They said you've got to take care of this unless you are one of the few who has a strong reserve fund. And they said when we get past this, we're going to be, I guess, emphasizing and stressing that each county have a reserve fund. Of course, we've had that, but it's not as strong as we would have liked for it to have been. But it's not just nothing either. But that is what's going to get us through, is the cuts that we've made and the reserve fund, because our carryover was just a little bit better than we had anticipated. Of course, this completely eats it up and then some. But looking at the entire financial picture, I think we've done what we have to get through, based on the guidance given. And keep in mind that one of the reasons the stimulus is not yet available for counties is because the counties still don't know what the economic impact is going to be. We know it's massive, we know what's happening right now, but the way the funds are collected now through cash registers, go to the state and then get redistributed back to the counties, that takes a month or two to happen. So we just know that in the future, our funding is going to plummet. So our account balances right now may look healthy. They very well should, but that's going to be a different story if we don't proact right now. Good conversation. Any other questions? Okay, moving on to new business. First ordinance is sponsored by Justice Bradford.
Be it enacted by the Quorum Court of the County of Van Buren, State of Arkansas, an appropriation ordinance to be entitled, an appropriation ordinance to amend the original appropriation ordinance 2019-55, the annual operating budget for 2020, to increase the projected revenue and appropriate $11,242.87 into the jail maintenance budget, 3017-400, and $638.73 into the detention center budget, 1000-418. Whereas the sheriff's office will receive an insurance check for repairs on the generator in the amount of $11,242.87. This money needs to be appropriated in the jail maintenance budget, 3017-400-2023, parts and repairs to cover the bill that is due April 27th. And whereas the detention center has received a $638.73 check from the Van Buren County Sheriff Inmate Commissary account that needs to be appropriated into the detention center budget, 1000-418-2009 inmate supplies. Now therefore be it ordained by the Quorum Court of Van Buren County, Arkansas, that Section 1, $11,242.87 be appropriated into the jail maintenance budget, 3017-400-2023, parts and repairs, and Section 2, $638.73 be appropriated into the detention center budget, 1000-418-2009 inmate supplies. I move this ordinance be approved.
Second.
Motion by Bradford, second by Phillips to adopt this ordinance. Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Holt?
Yes.
Nikki?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes.
Phillips?
Yes.
Bradford?
Yes.
Tatum?
Yes.
Lemmings?
Yes.
Bass?
Yes.
2012.
This time I would entertain a motion to suspend the rules to entertain an additional ordinance for an item that just came in.
So be it. Second.
It's been motioned by Dale Holt, second by Brian Tatum, to suspend the rules. Roll call. Any discussion? Roll call vote for suspension.
Holt.
Yes.
Nikki.
Yes.
Sarah.
Yes.
Phillips.
Yes.
Bradford.
Yes.
Tatum.
Yes.
Lemmings.
Yes.
Bass.
Yes.
Thank you. Brian, would you like to read the ordinance?
Which one is it?
It is the $5,000.
Been enacted by the Quorum Court, County of Van Buren, State of Arkansas, an appropriation ordinance to be entitled, an appropriation ordinance to amend the original appropriation ordinance 2019-55, the annual operating budget for 2020, to increase the projected revenue in county general and appropriate $5,000 into 1000-804-3115 for the Van Buren County Rescue Squad. Whereas the Van Buren County has received a donation of $5,000 from Flywheel Energy for personal protective equipment during this COVID-19 epidemic, and whereas this money needs to be appropriated into line item number 1000-804-3115, Van Buren County Rescue Squad donations. Now therefore be it ordained by the Quorum Court, Van Buren County, Arkansas, that $5,000 be appropriated into 1000-804-3115 Van Buren County Rescue Squad donations. I move to approve as written.
Second.
Motion by Tatum, second by Holt, to adopt this ordinance. Any discussion? Roll call. Oh, go ahead.
I just want to explain to people what this was. Whenever this COVID-19 hit, Flywheel Energy stepped up to the plate and donated $5,000. This money was used to purchase numerous items, from Tyvek suits to gloves to masks to numerous things that are handed out to the fire departments throughout the county, and also some of the ambulance services and just different people that was needing it. But there was also some other money that was involved in this with the Women's Methodist, what is it called?
United Methodist Women.
United Methodist Women. They also donated $7,200 to help us purchase this equipment for that, which we have got all the equipment finally. We got our final load in last Wednesday for this, but that's what the money was for.
Any other discussion? Roll call vote.
Holt.
Yes.
Nikki.
Yes.
Sarah.
Yes.
Phillips.
Yes.
Bradford.
Yes.
Tatum.
Yes.
Lemmings.
Yes.
Bass.
Yes.
2013.
Thank you. Next, we have a resolution by Nikki Brown.
Be it resolved by the Quorum Court of the County of Van Buren, State of Arkansas, a resolution to be entitled, a resolution to appoint a non-elected county employee to sign payroll checks in the absence of the county treasurer. Whereas the Van Buren County Quorum Court has a responsibility and legal obligation to approve the appointment by the county treasurer, and whereas there is a need to appoint an individual to sign payroll checks when if the county treasurer is absent during payroll, and whereas the individual will be added to the bank account number XXXX000 at First Service Bank, and whereas the county treasurer appoints Rebecca Doubleday deputy to the county collector. Therefore, be it resolved by the Quorum Court of Van Buren County, Arkansas, that Section 1, the Quorum Court of Van Buren County hereby approves the appointment of Rebecca Doubleday to sign payroll checks in the absence of the county treasurer, and Section 2, Ms. Doubleday will be added to the bank account number XXXX000 at First Service Bank. I make a motion we approve as written.
Second.
This resolution was motioned by Nikki, second by Phillips. Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Holt.
Yes.
Nikki.
Yes.
Sarah.
Yes.
Phillips.
Yes.
Bradford.
Yes.
Tatum.
Yes.
Lemmings.
Yes.
Bass.
Yes.
oh, sorry, 2020-09.
We're letting her catch up.
I'm having hand problems.
Our next resolution will be read by Justice Holt.
Be it resolved by the Quorum Court of the County of Van Buren, State of Arkansas, a resolution to be entitled, a resolution to declare a vacancy of the Van Buren County Quorum Court District Number 5 position. Whereas the Van Buren County Quorum Court has a responsibility and legal obligation to declare a vacancy when needed, and whereas Gary Linn held this position until his passing on April the 12th, 2020, and whereas there is a need to declare a vacancy for position 5 of the Van Buren County Quorum Court, therefore be it resolved by the Quorum Court of the Van Buren County, Arkansas, that the Quorum Court of Van Buren County hereby declares a vacancy for position number 5 on the Van Buren County Quorum Court. I move we approve the resolution.
Second.
It's moved by Holt, second by Lemmings to adopt this resolution. Any discussion?
I do have some questions on this. I had a couple of people ask me about it today, and I told them I really didn't know about how do we go about filling that position, and what is the, I guess some of the questions was, since if somebody, what's the procedure, and will they be there for the 2-year term, or is it something that has to go on the ballot in November?
Okay. Since we are beyond the filing period for this through the parties, it will be the parties who take care of this, the Republican and the Democratic Party. And we are to refer our applicants to the parties for their approval, and I will work with them. This will, a stamped copy of this resolution will go to the governor's office. We'll get that tomorrow and mail it down. And we'll let Bruce Campbell at the governor's office know that we have a vacancy that needs to be filled. We have an ad that's going to run in one of the local papers for the next couple of weeks stating that there is a vacancy, and that anyone who wishes to apply for this vacancy can do so by calling my office, and we will direct them through that. Of course, the applicant must be a registered voter within that district, and that's pretty much it.
What if they are independent?
There's a website that you can.
Yeah, you got a website. Governor's office.
That's what they was asking me today, so I said, I don't know.
The governor's going to appoint it.
Right. The governor will appoint it, and we'll take those and we'll send those to the governor. This is kind of like when Justice Kirkendall passed away, and Todd Burgess filled that position. He was really appointed for the duration of that term, and he was sworn in at the following term because it was an uncontested position. And this also is an uncontested position. So whoever takes this appointment will be sworn in, just like you guys, on January 1, and will complete that term.
Unless somebody runs.
Unless somebody runs.
Yeah,
right.
they can't appoint him if somebody runs.
Right. Of course, the filing period's over for
They can't run this time.
Right.
So that person would fill this out, and then, because
this
the filing
next
period, and then they
Filing
would
period.
serve the next 2 years.
Correct.
Then he would serve till this position's fulfilled, and then he has to, he can be appointed if somebody else didn't run.
If they can't run, all right?
Right.
No.
The filing period's over.
For this
For
the
this
next 2
position,
years.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
until this position's up.
Yeah, right, 2 years, yeah.
Right. Okay. Clear as mud? All right. Roll call vote.
Holt.
Yes.
Nikki.
Yes.
Sarah. Yes. Phillips.
Yes.
Bradford.
Yes.
Tatum.
Yes.
Lemmings.
Yes.
Bass.
Yes.
2020-10.
2021?
10. Go turn your hearing aid up over there.
I heard that smart remark.
Our next resolution will be read by Justice Bass.
Be it resolved by the Quorum Court of Van Buren County, State of Arkansas, a resolution to be entitled, Resolution of Authorizing the County Judge of Van Buren County, Arkansas, to enter into an administrative agreement with the White River Planning and Development District Incorporation Whereas the Van Buren County, Arkansas intends to apply to the Arkansas Economic Development Commission, AEDC, for an Arkansas Community and Economic Development Program COVID-19 response grant. The funds will be used to benefit the Ozark Health Hospital, and whereas Van Buren County requires assistance to identify and implement the regulations pertaining to this said grant, whereas it is necessary for the county judge to act in connection with the administrative agreement. Now therefore be it resolved by the Quorum Court of Van Buren County, Arkansas, that the Quorum Court of Van Buren County, Arkansas hereby declares that the county judge be authorized to execute an agreement with the White River Planning and Development District Incorporated to provide administrative services to the county. Such costs and contract formats to be pre-approved by AEDC, and all such costs to be paid by AEDC from the grant. And move for its adoption.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded that we adopt this resolution. Any discussion? Do y'all understand what this is for? This is money that's coming in for rural hospitals. It has to go through the county because the county owns property. This allows that through route to happen. It's all for COVID-19. Okay. Roll call vote.
Holt?
Yes.
Nikki?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes.
Phillips?
Yes.
Bradford?
Yes.
Tatum?
Yes.
Lemmings?
Yes.
Bass?
Yes.
2020-11.
Our next resolution will be read by Sarah Brown.
Be it resolved by the Quorum Court of the County of Van Buren, State of Arkansas, a resolution to be entitled, a resolution authorizing the county judge of Van Buren County, Arkansas to submit an application to the Arkansas Economic Development Commission for a community development project. Whereas Van Buren County may be applying to the state of Arkansas for an emergency Arkansas community and economic development COVID-19 response program grant. That's not full. The grant will be to provide emergency COVID-19 assistance to the Ozark Health Hospital, and whereas it is necessary that certain conditions be met as part of the application requirements, and whereas Van Buren County has conducted the required public hearing and has an active citizens participation plan, community development plan, and as part of the application process has received comments and community development and housing needs and proposed activities. And whereas as a result of the first public hearing, Van Buren County has identified and prioritized the community development and housing needs. Now therefore be it resolved by the Quorum Court of Van Buren County, Arkansas, that the county judge is hereby authorized on behalf of Van Buren County to submit an emergency application to the state of Arkansas for grant funds under the community development provisions of the Arkansas Community and Economic Development Program, and to expend funds to accomplish such community development activities if the grant is awarded. I move this be approved as written.
A second.
Okay. Motion by Sarah, second by Nikki to adopt this resolution. Any discussion?
Want to explain this one a little more?
Same thing. COVID funding. It's through Arkansas Economic Development. Have to have the resolution to be able to accept the grant funds.
What was the housing needs? I didn't understand all of that.
This isn't like a broader base grant than the one that was just described in the other resolution.
Mm-hmm.
It's just funding that is under this umbrella.
So,
any more discussion? Roll call vote.
Holt?
Yep.
Nikki?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes.
Phillips?
Yes.
Bradford?
Yes.
Tatum?
Yes.
Lemmings?
Yes.
Bass?
yes.
2020-12.
Thank you. Our next resolution will be read by Justice Lemmings.
Be it resolved by the Quorum Court of the County of Van Buren, the State of Arkansas, a resolution to be entitled, a resolution to confirm the reappointment of 2 members to the Van Buren County Equalization Board. Whereas the Van Buren County Quorum has responsibility and legal obligation to approve and confirm the reappointment of 2 members of the Van Buren County Equalization Board, and whereas there is a need to confirm the reappointment of Otis Allen to the Van Buren County Equalization Board. This appointment made by the Van Buren County Judge and will expire July the 31st, 2023. And whereas there's a need to confirm the reappointment of Matt Gilmore to the Van Buren County Equalization Board. This appointment made by the city and the town mayors and will expire July the 31st, 2020. Therefore, be it resolved by the Quorum Court of Van Buren County, Arkansas, that the Quorum Court of Van Buren County hereby confirms the reappointment of Otis Allen and Matt Gilmore to the Van Buren County Equalization Board. The board terms to expire as noted. The Equalization Board members are Sharon Richardson, July 31st, 2021. Don Hensley, July 31st, 2021. Kenneth Willock, July 31st, 2022. Matt Gilmore, July 31st, 2022. And Otis Allen, July 31st, 2023. I move that we approve this as written.
Second.
It's a motion by Linn, second by Nikki Brown to adopt this resolution. Any discussion?
Explain this to me, please, why they're on it the longest, yet they're going to be reappointed. Explain that to me.
Emma?
I did not hear all of his questions.
Well, I mean, you have 2 going off from 2021, another one going off from 2022, and then these 2 are 2022 and 2023. Why are they being reapproved instead of the 2021s?
It has to be staggered, 1, 2, or 3 year appointments, and that was just, the other ones had 1 and 2 years, so it was their time for 3 years, and the other ones had 1 and 3, and it was his time for a 2-year term.
Okay,
It's
so
just
these
staggered.
these are coming up as their turn.
Yes.
I got you. Thank you.
Any more discussion? Roll call vote.
Holt.
Yes.
Nikki.
Yes.
Sarah.
Yes.
Phillips.
Yes.
Bradford.
Yes.
Tatum.
Yes.
Lemmings.
Yes.
Bass.
Yes.
2020-13.
Thank you. Entertain a motion to suspend the rules to entertain one more resolution.
So be it. Second.
Motion by Holt, second by Tatum to entertain another resolution. Any discussion? Roll call vote for suspension.
Holt.
Yes.
Nikki.
Yes.
Sarah.
Yes.
Phillips.
Yes.
Bradford.
Yes.
Tatum.
Yes.
Lemmings.
Yes.
Bass.
Yes.
Thank you. Nikki Brown to read the next one.
Be it resolved by the Quorum Court of the County of Van Buren, State of Arkansas, a resolution to be entitled, a resolution to remove the non-elected county employee from the treasurer's signature card on the county bank account. Whereas the Van Buren County Quorum Court has a responsibility and legal obligation to approve the appointment by the county treasurer. And whereas Rita Tharp, who has previously signed checks in the absence of the treasurer, is no longer employed by the county at this time. And whereas Ms. Tharp needs to be removed from the signature card on bank account number XXXX000 at First Service Bank, and therefore be it resolved by the Quorum Court of Van Buren County, Arkansas, that Section 1, Rita Tharp be removed from the signature card for the county treasurer's bank account. I make a motion to approve the read.
Second.
Motion was made by Nikki Brown, second by Mary Phillips to adopt this resolution. Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Holt.
Yes.
Nikki.
Yes.
Sarah.
Yes.
Phillips.
Yes.
Bradford.
Yes.
Tatum.
Yes.
Lemmings.
Yes.
Bass.
Yes.
2020-14.
Thank you. Rita was one of the layoffs. Alrighty, I would like to remind everyone of the parade that's happening tomorrow. We'll meet at 11 o'clock at the high school arena auditorium area. The parade will be an in-car parade for our safety, and it's to honor our EMTs, first responders, and medical personnel. We will follow the lead of the Clinton Fire Department. We'll parade through downtown, and we'll end up going up 65 and going up and around the hospital and nursing home.
Can you say what time again?
We're going to start lining up at 11 a.m. and we're going to start out at 12 noon.
And where at?
from the high school arena at Clinton High School.
Thank you.
You bet.
Step into a new